Wow. I hope everybody's ready. This is a monumental one here. But I feel we all need to go to the beginning first before we start doing Jay-Z versus LL Cool J. Let's take you through the 50 Cent versus LL Cool J first. I think it's better to do that than the other one, and then you'll see why. Now, in the beginning, 50 Cent is one of the biggest LL Cool J fans there is, and a lot of people don't realize it. Like, he as an artist, hip hop fan in general, 50 loved LL. 50 used to transition his music to like what LL was doing. If LL had a hot record out, you know, he wanted to go ahead and be a part of it and do his thing and try to flip it and put his spin on it on his mixtapes and change the words up. And that's what helped him write the song 21 Questions. He saw how people would zone out and vibe with what LL was doing, like the chicks. So he was like, man, that's it. The sex appeal, you know, all the working out, being in shape. LL was his motivation to cross over and get the streets and the women. The female that go out and buy the records. It was all based on sex appeal. So he knew that and was like, if I want to have longevity in the game, I got to have the sex appeal with the records so they can come more into me. You know, I got them paying attention to the words. You know, and this was the key to Tupac's success. Tupac's success was the same way. It was on the same pattern of appealing words to the women. Because the women actually going to dictate how your records are going to go. And if the women like it, then you got a hit on your hands. LL had just dropped Ty Smith album, and 2 months into the project, it drops after 6 weeks. It drops out of the top 100 albums. There's really no promotional push for it. It's basically an R&B album. They dropped the ball marketing-wise, LL thought, and was very upset with the current positioning of the company that was ran by Jay-Z. And we'll get into that later. But LL is very intelligent. You don't be in this business for over 20 plus years and don't learn anything. He knows how to get his point across and get what he wants out of his record label that he's been at. I mean, for those who don't know, LL Cool J is Def Jam. Okay? A 16-year-old kid out of St. Albans, Queens, had a pad and a pen and birthed a label and gave life to a label that have been host to many artists that you can't even name. He is Def Jam. Def Jam is LL Cool J. And the legend speaks for itself. Now, going further into this, he knew that to get what he needed to get one of the hottest artists in the world and work with him. And actually, 50 Cent was trying to get with LL Cool J to work on some songs and work on, doing some albums and stuff. 50 wanted to work with him. So once he did that, LL and him came up with the idea. He was like, look, let's do this summer tour. Let's go out there and do this fest and this VMA. And then we'll come out and make an announcement. Because he had did a deal with 50. Like, yeah, I'll let you be the executive producer of my new album. We'll do it's my last album with Def Jam. Because he wanted to get out his deal. He's got a 13 album deal. I know, right? That don't exist no more. But the value of LL Cool J's deal comes at the end of it. Sure, it wasn't one of the greatest rap deals ever signed, but for his longevity and for him completing that long deal, what he owned at the end of it was worth him not leaving and going to G Unit or anywhere else. Because he would own his own rap catalog, which we all know is extensive. So it wasn't going to be a G Unit collaboration. It was going to be 50 Cent as an executive producer of LL Cool J's 13th and final album. What happened was LL Cool J is LL Cool J. His ego is through the roof. 50 Cent's ego is through the roof. But they're in the studio and it's gelling. Because L needed that energy from 50. And once he saw how 50 worked and him and 50 working together, next thing you know, you got like 5-6 songs. And it's all coming together perfect. And L is liking the direction of the songs and was like, yeah, this is what we need right here. This is that energy. So Lloyd Banks is on some songs. And basically, they're working on, it's like a G Unit album produced by 50 Cent. This album finna be off the chain. So 50 gotta go work on the Curtis album because he was doing it at the same time. So he's doing Curtis, he's getting ready for his big launch, his promotional thing he's doing because he's working with Jay-Z and Def Jam as well because he's doing a collaboration with Kanye West to promote his album. So he's basically the mediator between LL Cool J and Jay-Z at the time. But there was a major problem. LL Cool J wasn't really committing to 50 Cent to be the executive producer. And 50's like, man, what's going on with LL? I don't know what's happening. And I haven't heard from LL in a while because we've been separated and he ain't returned my calls and I want to know what's going on. Let's get this deal finalized soon. And LL told him, man, you got to be patient. He was like, just be patient. Everything going to work out. Don't worry about it. You know, I'm talking to my mans. We getting all that squared away. And we're going to have everything put down. But 50 is a very smart man as well. So he knows what's happening. You know, people are moving different. And when people start moving different in the rap element, you know you got problems. So they just did the VMAs. They just did another photo shoot together. And these guys are like brothers. We both from Queens and this and that. So 50 felt a little slighted. Plus 50 was like through the roof. The vitamin water deal came through with Coca-Cola. His album just came out. I Get Money is through the roof. 50 ego is at an all-time high. So what he's finding out from Jay is like what's going on with LL in this final album. He's like, he's saying it's not done. His other people, and he's like, he got this other guy, I guess he's working on some songs right now with him. But he was like, you the guy that's working with LL, you the executive producer, why you don't know what's going on? So 50 was like, you know, man, I don't know what LL on, man. I don't know what he doing. You know, he ain't calling me back, you know, I don't know what's going on. So, like right now, screw Cool J. So when they did it, they was gonna do the remix to "I Get Money." He got Diddy in there and Jay, and was like, "Man, we want to do this song." Because Diddy was like all for it. When the Forbes list came out, it was Forbes 1, 2, 3, 50 Cent, Diddy, Jay-Z. They was like, "Oh, this is it right here. This record gonna be hot. This remix." Diddy was pumped. Diddy was so hyped for a song. I have never seen Diddy so hyped for a song. He was so hyped to get in there to do the song. As soon as the song, before it was even mixed down, Diddy was already talking to people about how they done did a remix. Like, yeah, me and Jay did a remix with 50. It's gonna be fire. So he had already pumped the song up. So the song comes out, and when the song come out, you get to the lyrics. You get to, after Diddy do his line, you get to some of the lyrics of what's going on. And right before Jay comes in, 50 does a hook. And in the last part of his hook, he says, "I'm bad and I don't play or pretend." And I was like, huh? And then it says, "Fuck Cool J." Now, people on the web have changed the words and the lyrics because they don't want that to be there. And they want to kind of take that out. But in the lyrics, it says, "Fuck Cool J." Clear as day. And then here comes Jay-Z right behind him. "I'm a hustler, baby. So rock the word, tell them give me the cash. Go ahead, kill me. I'm all ready to go. Next stop is a Billy. I'm all ready to go. Next stop is a Billy. You all ready to go? You don't say you to go on no record. And if you say you to go, you are actually pointing to LL Cool J. Big mistake. Now, when this was done, this song was out, it was gone everywhere. Epic. Boom. Blowing up. So, needless to say, I gotta cut names out of stuff. A phone call was made. Phone call was made. It was good old Fifth. Matter of fact, let me take that back. We don't know who called who. Okay? Let's do it that way. We don't know who called who. But let's go through the results of the call, shall we? That'll work a lot better. Okay. This is what was said over the phone, being interpreted. Okay? Because I got to make sure this is done clean. Now, LL gets on the phone and he's talking to 50 because L hadn't even heard the record until it was brought to his attention by people from the streets. It's like, "Man, I think your man's just dissed you on the record." And then 50 had did a radio interview somewhere, and they asked him about the LL Cool J, and he was just like, kind of brushed it off. So when LL got on the phone, he was talking to 50, and he just said, "I heard the joint, and I'm disappointed in you, brother." He was like, "Why would you go and side with them like that when we working on something together that we finna put together that's gonna be monumental?" He was like, "I'm not even tripping off that. I'm tripping off of it that you never heard word from me." He's like, "You've been in the business long enough. You, Nas, all of y'all got years in the game, some years under your belts, and you guys are all new artists to me. That's how long I've been in the game." And for you to go for a stunt like that, He's like, you got one of the hottest records and one of the sharpest careers in the world. You got one of the smartest minds in this game. Don't let them play you for a pawn. If till you hear from LL or till you hear from me, I give you respect. I give you love. I'm not going to attack nobody blindly unless war has been declared. So, brother, we can even go to war or we can continue to do business. Because I'm not going to lay down. So, after this conversation, 50 told him basically how he felt. And it was from a business standpoint. It's like, man, look, it's business, man. Jay ain't going to attack you on no records, man. I'm just saying, you ain't never really commit to me on anything about me being executive producer, being finishing the album. You just did a couple of songs. We did like 5, 6, 7 songs already. And I don't know if that's structure for a mixtape or what direction we're going in. Because I'm hearing you doing records with somebody else. And it's saying this for the album. I don't, you got me in the dark. I ain't heard from you for like 3, 4 months, man. And LL hit him with that knowledge. When you LL Cool J, you got to tour the nation. You LL Cool J, you're a big staple in this hip hop community, in this hip hop generation. I don't want to put together an art form that's going to be something outstanding. I'm going to put an artwork together. I'm going to put some of the hard street stuff together and some of the love songs for the ladies. I'm going to have a combination. It's going to be an extension of my career expanding over 20, 30 years in the game. That's the kind of album I want, and that's why I got you to help me out. We're going to put this together, brother. Don't worry about it. I'm not even sweating it. That little jab, I'm not even sweating that. I'm not even going to give it attention. We're going to keep moving forward. Because see, we're gonna let the little media pick up on it and run, but we ain't gonna do that, brother. We're gonna keep it moving. So him and L was back tight and everything was working perfectly, and Jay was gonna be the middleman. Everything was smooth. The album's gonna be completed. So they back out in the press, back being boys. And it happened again. LL puts out a mixtape. And he's got G Unit. He got Fifth. Now, supposedly, this is what happened. Now, we gotta say supposedly. Supposedly, 50 Cent has some extra demands in there that came along with his executive producer with some type of points and stuff like that, and LL didn't agree to paying out that kind of money and budget and just saying, hey, this not gonna work out with you being executive producer. It's not gonna fit into the budget on what Def Jam is giving us to do this album and everything else, and then the record would have to be astronomically high in order to do that. So LL and the new executive producer who came along at the time, they all had a conversation and they could not come to an agreement where 50 Cent would be the executive producer. Endless to say, 50 Cent took a laptop and broke it over a table. After all the energy he put into it, so the songs was like in limbo. But you kept hearing them on remixes and stuff, and then they told him because of the work he's done, he's gonna get paid. He's like, no, we got songs that are gonna be on the album. You gonna get production credits for being on the album, but you're not gonna be able to EP the disc. So LL and the other guy who helped brought in a big stack of money to be the EP and some publicity stuff, and him and LL had some other businesses that they were getting into. He's an engineer. So once that was completed, the album comes out, Exit 13, and 50 Cent's on one song and then the bonus song. And they just left it as that. Like, they cool. Everything was cool, cordial, business-like, but wasn't like it was before, like they were brothers, like back in the studio working together. But it's all business with LL too. And that brings us to the Jay-Z situation. Now I'm going to elaborate more on that.